Well, hey, welcome to this installment of a devotional here at Crossroads. We're just continuing to try to get people and get us all engaged with content and with Christ and with His Word and with spiritual disciplines that are digitally based. So we've been doing some really good stuff, worship in the mornings that thousands of people are doing. Now we're trying some stuff that's more for our brains at night or in the evenings that maybe a little more theologically or biblically oriented. So welcome. We're so glad that you're here, and we're trying some new things. So I had something I was going to share today. I was going to actually continue on in the book of Ephesians that we did yesterday. It was sort of a verse by verse or line by line thing, and I just thought, I think I'm going to do something a little different right now. I hope you're okay with different. I don't know if you've been noticing that the theme of theme of politics, the theme of sexual harassment, the theme of shortcomings of men, the theme of unforgiveness, the theme of accusation, the theme of polarization, these are all big themes today. And there's a verse that I've been reflecting on more than normal over the last several years. Actually ended up me writing a book on this verse. It says this. 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 13. Be watchful. Be watchful. Stand firm in the faith. Act like men. Be strong. Let all that you do be done in love. Be watchful. To be watchful includes noticing trends that are in our culture that are very harmful to us. We just got done with a series on progress that notices the trend of how these things are harmful to us because we spend more time with these things than we do actual flesh and blood people. Be watchful. When we watch for God's ways in society, we end up finding a lot of things that are not His ways. I don't know if you've been watching the plot of the Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings or voting hearings, whatever they're supposed to be called. But it is yet again been another thing in our country that is divisive. Can we do anything in our country anymore that's not divisive? Can there be anything that we don't kind of line up and take pot shots at one another? It says be watchful. I'm just noticing that we live in a time that is incredibly contentious and divisive. Jesus talks about being peacemakers. Blessed are the peacemakers. Where are they right now? Where are they? I'm watching right now. I'm not seeing it. Be watchful. Stand firm in the faith. What is the faith? The faith is that Jesus died for my sins, and therefore I don't have to die for my sins. Jesus died for my sins, and you don't have to die for your sins. Isn't that amazing? Stand firm in that. Stand firm. In other words, if you're feeling guilty about your past, you're not standing firm in your faith. Why is it some of us think that the closer we are to God, the more guilty we're going to feel? That is not true. Our faith means that Jesus died for me and that I owe nothing. If you get a note from the bank today and says, congratulations, your mortgage has been paid off. Your mortgage has been paid off. What is your debt to the bank? Your debt is zero, nothing. If your mortgage has been paid off, you owe nothing. Our faith tells us that your debt and my debt, your wrongdoings and my wrongdoings, your poor choices and my poor choices, your ill-timed words and my ill-timed words, your lack of doing the right thing and my lack of doing the right thing is paid for. That debt is, what do you owe God? Nothing. You owe, this is standing firm in the faith. Standing firm in the faith doesn't mean standing firm that I'm a turd. Standing firm that there's something wrong with me. No, it means God loves you. He cares. Stand firm in the faith that you are forgiven and you have yet another shot at life. And here's another big one. Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like mature adults. No, it doesn't say it actually. Act like self-actualized people. No, it doesn't say it. It says, act like a nice person. No, it doesn't say it. It says, act like men. Act like men. Now this section, this verse is written to men. And I know we got men and women who are tuning in, but just notice, When's the last time you heard, why don't you act like a man? And it was in the positive. Today, acting like a man means being immature. It means drinking too much alcohol. It means, unfortunately, putting your strength on women. It means oftentimes, I bought you dinner, so therefore you're going to give me a little something, something. No, that's acting like a boy. That's acting like an abuser. Act like a man. For those of us who are men, this is you have to see this as an incredibly high calling to be a man. It's a high calling to be a woman as well, but I'm just going to do on this verse. Act like a man. It is a blessing to be a man and to be strong. When you're a man, it says, act like men, be strong. It means that you are strong. I'm a big dog person. I like dogs. I like them big. I like them really big. The problem when you get a big dog isn't just the big poops. That's a problem too, but not if you choose never to clean them up. That's what I choose. Goes in my yard, just sits there and fertilizes. It's wonderful. I have neighbors who walk by and they have these little bags to pick up the poop of their dog when they're coming by, and I'll be on the front porch. It's happened more than once. Most recently I was having my quiet time on my front porch in the morning, and neighbor was going down. I said, hey, Karen, no need. You do not need to pick up your dog's turds in my yard. Look around. My dog's turds are larger than your dog. So this is a turd-free zone. All my neighbors know your dog wants to poop in my yard. Great. Anyway, all that to say, I digress. I like big dogs. You know what the thing is, when you own a big dog, you have a lot of responsibility, because a dog that's out of control as a strong dog is a lot different than a Chihuahua that's out of control. There's a soberness to how you raise your dog and how you make sure that your dog is not a nuisance. This is what it's like to be a man. As men, we have power that many women don't have, either physical power, or maybe it's corporate power, or maybe it's some power. I'm not defending, I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying there is a level of power that comes along with being a man that needs to be reined in. It needs to be leashed. It needs to be moderated by a faith. It needs to be moderated by a man who has faith, who's watchful of the things that he does and says, and is strong. Strong. We need strong men. Not men who are strong and are out of control, but men who are strong and can control. It can control their strength. And the next section, verse 14, says, let all that you be done in love. Let all that you do be done in love. You can be strong and be loving. It is a strong move to say to somebody, hey, I saw what you were doing. What are you thinking? That is not a good idea. That's a strong move, and it's loving. It can be incredibly loving to discipline your child, and that is a strong move as a man, an incredibly strong move. It is incredibly loving to look out over all the culture and to be watchful. And I just say to people who you have an influence with, like I do with you, can we recognize that we're becoming awful grace givers? Can we recognize that we're not giving grace to one another? Is this because we don't feel like God's giving us grace? Is this because we feel like we're living in shame of God judging us? If so, we're not standing in the faith which says you're forgiven. God's good with you. He's okay with you. We need to be watchful, recognizing the rule of love, the rule of forgiveness, the rule of faith, the rule of strength is not happening in our culture, and I want all of us to be different. All of us, whether man or woman, can do all of those things, but I got a special heart in this one just for men because it actually calls out men. Men are the crisis point of our time, of our day right now. Shameless plug right now, I've written a book, 80% new content. That's pretty good. At least that's what people who've read it told me. Of course I think it's good, but people who've read it said, oh no, this is really good. Called 5 Marks for Man. I think it's a book that's going to be it is appropriate for our culture. Maybe God's timing had it so that this was going to be the exact time when this book is released. You can go to Amazon.com and pre-order it if you want. I'm watchful. It seems like man discussions, men behaving badly, is a thing right now. And I'm watchful. I'm going, wait a minute, how is it that all this men behaving badly and 5 marks from man come? How is it that it's because we're not acting like men? We're acting like boys. That's why. We're acting like boys. We're not acting like men. And God, I believe in his timing, as I'm watchful, he had this book be released nationally in just this time, because there's a massive difference between a man and a boy. A man has vision. A boy lives day to day. A man works. A boy only plays. A man is a protector, not a predator. A man takes a minority position. A boy wants to always be with the masses. And a man is a team player. He thinks about other people in love, while a boy only wants to be about himself. He only wants to be MVP. Hey, look, if you're a man out there, act like a man. Act like one. It's a high calling. Act like a man. That's my charge to you. See you next time.